in ISKCON, shiksha, generally that means advice on missionary issues like my service or problems I'm facing. Is it correct to assume prior to, let's say, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our acharyas have written about shiksha and shiksha guru? Can we assume that that is more specifically related to scriptural study?
Yes, I think mainly it's scriptural. We have someone like Ramanujacharya had, I think, 13 shiksha gurus. So it's because they taught different areas of knowledge, scriptural knowledge on different things. Like one would teach the Tamil Veda, one would teach logic, one would teach something like that. So that's when we say shiksha mainly. And when Jiva Goswami uses the term in Bhakti Sandarbha, he's giving shiksha on method of worship, not something on how to deal with your family. In fact, generally, probably the gurus would avoid that as much as possible and just do, leave that to other people to give advice on other things and just give the scriptural things, whether it's mantra or scriptural knowledge. So shiksha would mean more just teaching scriptures, bhakti scriptures.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So this is specifically with respect to, here.
Yeah.
In early 90s, you were authorized to become a initiating guru, but you have refrained from doing that.
Yeah.
So what would be your reasons for doing that? And number two, do you plan to initiate in future?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the idea of what a Diksha Guru is unclear by followers or disciples when they artificially project things upon the Guru which are not true. The other is probably in ISKCON itself in general. Maybe in the GBC itself, the idea of the function of the Guru is a little unclear what they're doing. Yeah. So if we give an exact statement like, you're only the postman, that's all you're doing, it would be very clear. Now that actually is done in other sampradayas, like Madhva Sampradaya. They say, actually, okay, we have our gurus, what are they doing? And even they're no fault, they're pretty, strict in their sadhana, and they know all the scriptures, and they know all Madhva's commentaries, etc. But we are not doing anything really. We are just assistants. Yeah? We're not the deliverer. We leave that up to our founder, Madhvacharya. Let him deliver, and we're just kind of helping him, bringing people like that. And the same in the Ramanuja Sampradaya. They are simply assistants, that's all, and they make an explicit statement like that. So there's never any competition for the founder.
Hare Krishna. Over here, I'm on the left. You mentioned that a Shiksha Guru can give first initiation and still not be the Diksha Guru. And you also mentioned that the Diksha Guru gives a private mantra. So in our case, Srila Prabhupada gave his Diksha mantra and people use it pretty openly. So it's a two-part question that a Shiksha Guru can give first initiation and not be qualified as a Diksha Guru, but these Guru mantras have become like not private, I guess.
Oh, well, it's a little sticky area. Technically, of course, what we call first initiation it's not the essence of initiation because you're not getting that mantra by which you're qualified to worship the deity. So in that sense, it's pretty clear. You would say only when you get second initiation you worship the deity. So that the Diksha mantra is there to worship the deity. So in that sense, we say, okay, that's Diksha. But then we say first initiation is also a Diksha. So this makes it a little more complicated. So it's Diksha in a little bit of a sense because you get a name, Krishna Das or whatever. And Krishna Das, getting a name is part of what we call Pancha Samskar, which is, we could say, Pancharatrik, part of Pancharatrik initiation. You get a name, you get tilak, you get branded, you get the mantra for the thing, you get the name, Krishna Das, and then you do worship. So 5 samskars are there. So we're getting the name, so in a sense it's part of initiation in the Pancharatrik sense, but if you didn't get the mantra, you wouldn't be qualified to worship the deity. So therefore, it's not the main part of the Diksha. So it's like Diksha part 1, we can say, in that sense. So, but we are taking vows and doing so many things. And so in one sense, it's kind of like a formal shiksha ceremony in a sense also. And we're vowing to chant 16 rounds at that time. So it's kind of like a shiksha ceremony. Yeah? There is the problem, okay, we want to make shiksha guru equal to diksha guru in ISKCON. And of course we say that, and it's in the scriptures like Chaitanya Charitamrita, but it's very kind of difficult to do because we don't have a formal process of recognizing a shiksha guru, whereas we do have for diksha guru. So, a proposal could be there that you could have a similar ceremony as first initiation without giving the name, and there would be a shiksha guru, which would be bona fide in one sense because there's no scriptural vidya on rules on how to become a shiksha guru. There is nothing there. Given the, but you could have a formal ceremony of some sort of the vows and whatever you want to do. We could do without the name.
So, Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna, I'm here. Okay. So, Maharaj, as you're saying that the Diksha Guru is just someone who's a postman and just giving out the...
Even the Shiksha Guru is.
Yeah. Now, we are saying, okay, the real deliverer is Prabhupada. This is what the same thing the Rituks are saying.
What's
so
that?
This is the same thing that the Rituks are saying.
No. There's something different.
Why?
Huh?
They say the same thing.
So no. What the Rituks say is you get your Diksha mantra from Prabhupada. The Diksha mantra at second initiation comes from Prabhupada. That's what they're saying. And so they play a tape. And Prabhupada gives you the Diksha mantra, so he's your Diksha Guru. So I'm not saying that.
Well, that if the Diksha Guru cannot deliver someone, and only Prabhupada is the deliverer,
Yeah.
I don't see any difference between...
Well,
what
I
the
think
Rituks are saying and
it
what
may
we are
be a
saying.
little shocking to us to say that, okay, Prabhupada's delivering or we're not doing anything or whatever, but this would actually be the attitude of a true devotee, that we are powerless. We're nothing. We're just the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, and we can't do anything, isn't it? And as I said, ultimately, even the person who is elevated in prema, he's also not, he doesn't consider himself doing anything, because that's Krishna doing everything, ultimately.
Yeah.
It's Krishna's power acting through him. So in a sense, we're all like little puppets for Krishna. So in that sense, of course, the postman idea is, Prabhupada gave that example. Just the postman. And Prabhupada says about himself, I'm just the postman.
The Guru has to be transparent, means the link up.
To be a good postman, you have to get qualified also. You have to be a transparent via media. So you have to have sincerity, devotion, whatever, loyalty, whatever.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. You brought up this interesting point that in the nectar of devotion, it speaks about Uttama
Yes.
as a sadhaka also.
Yeah.
So I had been perplexed because in the nectar of instruction, and it finally seems to have been resolved now, but still I have a question. In the nectar of instruction purport where Srila Prabhupada speaks about Diksha, initiation, the first part of the purport he seems to be referring to someone performing sadhana strictly and referring to him as Uttama.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the purport where he speaks about Uttama Guru and in the Madhyama Guru and the Kanishta Guru, there he seems to be directly deriving from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, where he speaks about a fully self-realized
Yeah.
Uttama.
Which is
So-
also there in Bhagavatam in the 11th canto definition
Yes.
of Uttama. Yeah.
So what is that purport finally referring to then? Because in the initial stages he's referring to
Well,
Uttama.
it looks that makes it controversial. We don't really know because it's taking two different concepts of Uttama there.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mike.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I wanted to ask if you could kindly discuss further this concept of Guru as postman, because this seems to be a central area that ISKCON is not digesting. You mentioned earlier
Yeah.
that GBC has passed a number of initiatives, but this Guru as postman it seems
Uh-huh.
challenging to digest.
Okay. Yes. Well, Prabhupada made the statement.
Yeah.
He said it about himself. Now there is, I think there was, because with the Ritviks there was a meeting once, and they were presenting this idea that, Prabhupada's the deliverer, we're not the deliverer, etc. So then the counter-argument based on that, I think a little paper was written actually, to say who is the deliverer. And the conclusion was everybody's the deliverer, which is also true, because your Shiksha Guru, your Diksha Guru, Prabhupada, Harinam, Scripture, Krishna, they're all contributing definitely like that. But at the same time, just for, let's say, reality's sake, we should place ourselves in a humble position and say, well, I'm only the conveyor of the message, basically like that, as the postman. I don't open the envelope and start changing the message or whatever like that. So that's the basic function. And as I said, the parampara we have, Shiksha, they're passing on the same message of Bhagavatam to the present day without distorting it. That's what they're doing.
And that can be done by a Madhyamadikari.
Yeah, as I said, well, as Vishwanath Chakravarti says, the Madhyama is the main person who's giving out mercy in the world. The common person.
So you're sharing with us that we should have the understanding that most, if not all of our current ISKCON gurus are most likely on the Madhyamadikari
yeah,
platform.
and we're postmen.
So what are the obstacles in the hearts of disciples that cause some of us to find the idea that our Diksha Gurus are possibly not less than Uttama Adhikaris?
What makes them think they are or not?
Yeah, what are the obstacles in our hearts? Because many of us were fixed in this idea, my Guru is an Uttama Adhikari.
Yeah. And if I take a Guru, it should be the highest. So it's kind of natural that if we're going to accept a Guru and take it as an absolute authority, then we want to put him on the highest level. Yeah? So that's there. And he may be also. But at the same time, we have to be a little bit realistic and go by Scripture and see who's an Uttama, what are his characteristics, who's a Bhava, who's on sadhana, etc. And also the Guru himself, what does he claim? Is he claiming he's got prema? Is he claiming he's seeing Krishna directly every day? Or whatever. Or is he just saying, I'm doing sadhana? So we do have to have a little bit of reality also in our respect. So that's what I'm trying to present. We respect because they are doing this service to Krishna, being the medium for Krishna's mercy. And we have to respect everybody for that. At the same time, we can't artificially project as a disciple. We should not artificially project a certain level. So just to make it so the disciple doesn't feel guilty about it, maybe we do have to make a GBC statement so that they're protected. Okay, I'm just following the GBC. My guru's on this level. Okay, fine. It's not my fault. It's the GBC's fault if they make the statement.
So, last two questions.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the nice presentation. My question is in regards to the deliverer situation. Couldn't we say that ultimately Krishna is the deliverer?
Yeah, well, that was the conclusion of the paper also.
Because by the logic that Srila Prabhupada's the deliverer, we can say Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is the deliverer, Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Yeah.
So Krishna is delivering us through the scriptures, through the Guru, through the Mahamantra, through Prasadam, through so many things, correct?
Yeah. So ultimately it's Krishna. As I said, the Madhyamadikari is simply the medium of Krishna's mercy. So Krishna's ultimately delivering through the Madhyamadikari, etc. But within like the hierarchy of worship within our Sampradaya and within ISKCON, then we'll more or less go to the more direct person, and that would be Srila Prabhupada. That's all.
One Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. Maharaj, my question was like, my understanding, like I'm a neophyte, so I feel that you give a wonderful class, but as a disciple, we feel like we need to give all the respects and all our loyalty to our both Shiksha Guru and the Diksha Guru. But at the same time, when you spoke about that it might affect, like developing false expectations and with respect to the guru when it is seen like that. So how do we know, like, at the same time we are giving all our respect and loyalty to the guru but not affecting ISKCON in a broader term?
So this is our dilemma, of course. We can say, well, I'm giving all my respect to the Diksha Guru. How can I respect anybody else or whatever? But as I said here, the idea was that you respect your father and the father's brothers, and you give more respect to the grandfather. So we're respecting everybody, but we have different types of respect we're giving. So within ISKCON, yes, we should never restrict the devotion of disciple to a guru, but it has to be within certain bounds. There has to be some moderation of that, because we are living in a society which has many gurus, and we do have a managerial structure also. So if you simply put all of your faith in guru and follow only his orders, then this causes disruption, because if the guru gives you instructions on where to preach and how to preach, whatever, but the managers of ISKCON say, no, don't do that, you're going to have a conflict. So we do have to adjust our idea of absolutely following guru to accommodate the rules of ISKCON, and also, as I said, the reality of the level of our gurus.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. So about this class and related to this class, Lines of Authority, Guru Diksha, also available in YouTube. So please go through it. Some of the books are there in the ILS stall. You can read it. Krishna Bhajanamrita and Chatusloki Bhashyam by Srinivasacharya. Get more clarity on Guru Diksha. Hare Krishna.